Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy, Blaze McCoy, back with another episode of WrestleSense Podcast, where we debate, friendly debate and discussion on what's going down in the world of pro wrestling right about now this week. So this is our 30th episode. Crazy that we're doing 30 of these already. And we're basically just going to go over some of the highlights of the past week in wrestling. Want to shout out everybody that's in the live chat. We got the boys along with the podcast here to call the shots and give us our opinions, and always a fun talk. We're going to talk a little bit about the Four Horsemen and NWO later on, so you guys in the live chat, get your modern-day Horsemen and NWOs lined up. We're going to talk about that later. Have a little fun with that. Wally's in the building. There he is. Good to see you, Wally. PFW's in the house as well. Good to see you guys. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Super Nacho wants the Horsemen to actually ride horses this time. There you go. Not limos and jet planes. Horses. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Crushing Kelly's here. JW Caliber's here. Jen, the Dragoness, is here. LT the Goat. There he is. We had dragons and goats and Jamar Games. Oh, my. What's happening, brother? Good to see you. Welcome in. Well, let's get the boys in here and talk some wrestling. Make sure you guys, if you're digging what's going down, hit those thumbs up, share it out. We're going to make some sense of it right off the bat. We're going to give our 2 cents about a legend in the wrestling world, and then we'll do our little fantasy book and later on in the end of the show. And then at the end of the day, we do the end of the day thing. Natural Aggression Wrestling. Good to see a Stompy in the building. All right, let's I was going to bring the Night Owl. What is this?
Hey, it's night vision.
Am I scared?
You should be scared. No, it's one of those things. It's, driving a car coming home from a softball, and guess gonna have to talk some wrestling nonsense with you.
Remember the show where my power went out? This is what it reminds me of. It's like the same thing happened to you, but you're just in a car.
Yeah, don't worry.
We have our own horror show here. Doc, you want to direct our horror show? Me and Easy.
He dies first. Other than that, what's up, everybody from the side?
Good to see you, dog. CJ, figured we flip
From
it
the
around.
side.
What's up, CJ?
Hey, it's hard to believe that this is number 30 already. It doesn't feel like it.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, happy third anniversary to us. Yeah, we did it.
Right.
Lots going on, man. Lots going on.
We're gonna get right to it. We're gonna try to make sense of it as the truck's backing up. Oh my god. We're going to try to make some sense of some of the topics right now in the wrestling world. Monstar is going to take whatever Doc's idea of whatever his picks are later. Monstar says he's going to take them.
Puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Cougar's here. Yeti is here. All right, let's talk some wrestling. Well, let's talk not wrestling first because we got
it's wrestling
stories.
Still. It's
wrestling
still.
But it's more about their personal lives and outside of the wrestling world. I'm Mr. Positivity. You can go anywhere and get all the crank noise about, oh, this crap might be happening. That might be happening. Is she signed? Is they signed? Are they leaving? Are they here? I want to talk about wrestling. I want to talk about the fighting, but let's get right to it. Jeff Hardy arrested again, DUI. Weird thing about it with me is, and we have
Hi, Kelly.
This is going to be definitely a part of the show where we're not joking about it. It's a serious thing. I didn't really want to talk about it that much, but it's something that we should still address. It is the hot topic in wrestling right now. I mean, how many times has he had issues? And we've talked about it recently. He didn't seem like himself in the ring, whether it was injury, lag, just didn't care anymore, or was he using again? So we had to talk about it. Now he has been sent to rehab, hopefully they're finally acknowledging it. Matt's acknowledged it. And then there was all the jokes about whether Rebby was making light of it. Are they enablers to Jeff? Should AEW have caught it? Should WWE have caught it? And, it hits home with a lot of us here on the channel, especially here on the panel. So, without getting into too much detail, like CJ, you've been open about your recovery.
Absolutely. Here's the one main point I wanted to bring up about this. And this is early at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, I think what a lot of people seem to forget that outside of wrestling, Jeff is a human fucking being. Is he a repeat offender? Yes, he is. But here's the thing. Until Jeff is ready to do better for himself, he's not going to. So I'm hoping that he sees the light of the situation and uses this to spin it into a positive outcome for himself. Some people don't get it on the first try, and that's okay. It takes people more times than one. And again, that's okay. But eventually that light is going to go off in his head and he's going to see that, I need to start doing better for myself, for my family, for those I work with, and all of the above. And that's the only thing that I could hope for. And it's very disheartening to me to see some of the stuff people are saying about him because he's a human being and he's struggling. And people need to be supportive. Doesn't matter if it's 10 DUIs, 20 DUIs, 1 DUI. It's all the same. We're recovering addicts, alcoholics, or people that are still in active use. So just
CJ,
help is what he needs to do.
CJ, you said it right. Everything you said 100%. But I want to turn this another direction.
Okay.
And say, I want to say that if there's somebody out there that's listening to this and knowing the situation that you're in and seeing what Jeff Hardy's going in, the direction he's going in, and if you need help, why don't you, reach out to one of us? You see our Twitter handles, you see our Facebook handles. If you need help, why don't you reach out to us? Because I said this in our private chats. Every one of us has some kind of an addiction problem in a family, an immediate circle, friends.
Yeah.
If you know somebody and you just want us to, reach out, this is a time to get together. And you're right. Support Jeff Hardy because he is a fucking human being.
Yeah.
There's no
Well
there's no formula like CJ said. There's no exact formula to recovery because everybody's different. Number one, their situations are different. What they've gone through is different, and
everybody's recovery is different.
And like you said, what angered me about the whole situation too is people are so quick to judge and throw blame around. You know, who could have stopped it? Who should have done this or that? And I mean,
Jeff could have stopped it, but when he's ready to stop it.
Only Jeff can know what's going on in Jeff's head, and I just hope he gets the help he needs because he's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And you know, they always say
he's damn good at what he does.
Sometimes you don't want to get to know your heroes too much because sometimes you might not like them. It's not that I wouldn't like him, but repeatedly doing this because I know personally, and we all do that. You don't only affect yourself; you're affecting your loved ones, your kids, your friends, your relatives. You're putting everybody out there by putting yourself out there. If you don't get the help you need, it even in the beginning. So, Doc,
and the big. I'm sorry, real quick.
No, go ahead.
It's all Doc. The big thing that people that don't go through or have somebody that is in their circle or family or friends, they don't understand what he's going through. So they need to just be there to support and give him the hope that there is a chance for him to recover, which there is 100%. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Doc.
No, like when I posted this in our little group chat, like I didn't want to talk about this. Right. I said I didn't want to talk about it, but there was a reason. It wasn't because it was because I like to be the positive channel, the ones that focuses on the good stuff. I've said it before that I don't even worry about botches or things that people mess up in matches and stuff. I want to focus on the positivity. You can go anywhere on YouTube or any of these podcasts and find people that constantly bitch about stuff. We're still going to bitch about stuff. We're still going to disagree. We're going to have fun with it. But I like to focus on the positivity of what we can reach out to people, like the way you guys have spun it so far. And I know Doc, you know, his heart's in the same place as ours is. Yeah, that means a lot more to me than the wrestling, than the entertainment. These are human beings, like you said. Exactly. You know, let's shed the heroism and the ego and everything, and just look at these people as like, hey, we all do have a story that either hits us personally or within our family or friends, or lost loved ones from this stuff. And I don't want to have, you know, our next talk about Jeff Hardy just died in a car crash. You know, or, you know, someone else could have lost their lives. So, Doc, you sum this all up for us so we can, you know, get a complete perspective on it and how you're feeling about this.
Well, I see every day. I see addiction. You know, I mean, myself, CJ, in our fields, you know, and we see some really sad things. I saw something today. It was sad. You know, somebody went in for a pee test, left the cup on the sink, and walked out because they knew they were caught. Yeah. Bottom line is this, you know, what I say is you have to reach out to somebody. You have to have a life support. You have to have somebody out there that's either family, friends, whatever. Do what you have to do to try to help this demon, this sickness which is addiction. For the simple fact is Jeff Hardy, no disrespect, thank God for the Florida cops getting him off the road when they did. Because what if he would have hurt somebody in a car wreck? What if he would have killed somebody in a car wreck? That's the end of his career. He still has time to replenish and rebuild. Do I think he needs more than 3 months in rehab? Yes, I think he needs at least 6 months to a year, just for the fact that, you know, he wants to get back in that ring. He had to stay competitor, and that's that hunger, that's that fire, which we love about the Hardys. But put him on ice for a little bit. Let him see we could do this. Let him do what he has to do. Let him better himself. Let him be that, you know. And the thing is, you know, I didn't agree with the memes that I saw. I didn't agree with what Rebby Sky did. I thought that was wrong. That was
I didn't even see that.
She does a video where she's praying, and it says, praying to God that both brothers keep each other safe during the ladder match. Then she cut it to a part where Joe Exotic from Tiger King goes, "Guess what, motherfucker?" And it had Jeff Hardy's name come up.
Like that's just fucking bad judgment on her part, and she of all people should know better.
But she always jumps on his ass when it comes to
clout chasing.
She's very
She came back with another tweet saying, with all the examples you know, the people that were accusing her of enabling and stuff, say, I made sure Jeff got home last night. I made sure Jeff got to his hotel. I made sure Jeff wasn't drinking. I made sure it was, you know, this and that. You know, it's not her fault. He still found a way.
But did you? And it's not her fault. Jeff is in control of his own life. But don't, you know, make it seem that it's not a big deal, because it is.
Yeah,
but like Doc said, we could be talking about someone that's lost their life right now, and we haven't. Like Tammy Sitch. How long ago was that? Where she was in her wreck. DUI.
Yeah, and
someone died.
She's ruined. She's
Yeah.
done. Like I mean, she was already ruined, but I mean,
Right.
I'm talking. She's done. Like that's it.
So,
That's
like,
a wrap. There's no more
Yeah.
conventions. There's no more nothing. That is
thing
it.
with-
She is going to be in trouble and incarcerated.
Let me wrap this up because I know, Greg, Blaze, you want out of this as much as we do.
Well, I mean,
let's wrap it up with saying it one more time that if you think you have a problem and you want somebody to talk to, reach out to one of us on our Twitter handles or whatever, and we'll talk.
Anything. I'd be more than happy. All of us would be more than happy.
I think that's the first thing that needs to happen is people to reach out, or else it does get to the point where they don't.
And some people are afraid to reach out because we think, as being in recovery from addiction or alcoholism, that it makes us less of a person. That is the most complete bullshit statement I've ever heard in my life. It takes more of a fucking person to reach out and ask for that help. And it just shows how strong your character is as a human being.
Not being afraid to ask for help, not being afraid.
It's okay to not be
out
okay.
there. Yes. And it is okay. I mean, for example,
because it's not the first time it's happened.
Blaze, hold up. I'm sorry. There's a movie of Russell Crowe, if y'all remember. It was about a boxer. He was down on his luck. He was in line every day to work because it was about like the 1930s, I think. Just hear me out on this. Good. Yes, it has nothing to do with it has a little bit to do, not with addiction, but just character. The man himself was in the middle of a party with all these rich people, and he literally looked at everybody and said, my family's not eating. I go every morning to try to get into the work line, the labor line, and I have nothing. It was actually called The Contender. And he literally said, can I please have some money just to feed my family? He literally sucked it up, and you could see how bad it was killing him. But these people put money in his hand, and I'll never forget this. He started boxing, started making money. He went back to the welfare office at that point, and he put money in the woman's hand. The woman usually was putting money in his hand to, buy his kids some bread, water, whatever was out there to feed his family. He literally took the money that they gave him, that he didn't have to pay back, and he handed it right to that woman and said, here, I have it now. This is for you. Went back to that party, went to a rich party and said to each person, here. Why? That's character. That is that fear you need to put aside. That is that pride you need to go this way with. Yeah. And you need to say, listen, I need help. Please help me. And then the right people, you get to the right people, and they get you to the right places, and you get that help you need to recover and have a healthy level of functioning. I'm done.
So on another note, did you see who I saw on Tinder today?
Oh, Christ.
Dude, that was funny.
We will talk about the family here.
Boy, that went straight to hell.
Thanks. So Jeff Hardy, we hope he gets the help he needs.
Yeah.
The stunning thing with me is just that, like, it happens to people, normal people, but this is a guy who is more than likely just about to have another world championship tag run with his brother. He's famous. He could get any girl or guy he wants on the planet. He could he's adored everywhere he goes, and still has to fight with those demons. So it can happen to anybody is the point. Yep. So wish the best to Jeff. So let's talk about more outside of the ring noise.
From the side.
I love that. This is a great picture.
It's like, well, there's a better one here coming up, but let's lead off with the initial statement that the first email was sent to the board of members March 30th. It alleged that Mr. McMahon, 76 years old, initially hired a woman at a salary of $100,000, increased it to $200,000 after being in a sexual relationship with her. The email to the board also alleged that Mr. McMahon gave her like a toy to Mr. Laurinaitis. The board has investigated the allegations, the email, and people familiar with the inquiry said,
who cares? It's his own business.
Me and CJ started talking about it a little bit. Yeah. Number one, and the first thing I said was the first thing I saw after this was released on Twitter was someone who posted in segment after segment after segment after thing of all the things Vince has been accused of or put through the ringer for or has done on the shows behind the scenes personally, and I'm like, this doesn't even really seem that bad when you stack it up against all the other shit. Like, of course, no one was surprised by this news. Good, easy, get it off your chest.
This isn't like the Houston Texans in the NFL. WWE is the NFL. He's doing it under his own business where he's the majority shareholder now. And before, he was the only shareholder. So how can you tell a guy who owns let's put it this way. I said it to CJ earlier. He owns McDonald's. He owns one McDonald's. And he does this. And he's the sole owner of that McDonald's. How do you force him to sell? There's no reason to. It's his business.
I mean, they can I mean, they even said he has more voting power where they can't fire him.
No.
Right.
No,
He still has too much power. But one thing he can become, I mean, with him and Laurinaitis passing him around, is they can become the new tag team champions. How about it?
Oh, shit.
So I'm waiting for this, sooner or later. Everyone else has 2 belts. Have you guys noticed that at all? The amount of people in not only WWE but also AEW and other places that have 2 belts right now? There's like a bunch of them.
Well, FTR is ROH and AAA.
They got 2, yeah. There's like a lot of people have 2
because
championships.
belts mean nothing right
They
now.
don't mean
Agreed.
as much as they used to. Yeah, they really don't.
I agree.
It's
Belts
nothing
and
like
even
it
the
should've been.
heavyweight titles don't mean jack shit anymore.
Clinton brings up a good point.
All right. Where the
And-
that's what CJ
If
mentioned
it
earlier
came
too.
out
Hold on,
of
let me
his
go back.
own pocket, then that's his business. Morally, is it wrong? Yes. But legally, there's not much that can be done about it.
No.
There's nothing.
No,
to be
I mean, like I said, all the other stuff he's already been accused from and run through the ringer. I mean, he's probably sitting there going, he's not surprised about it either.
No.
But
Is it a
but it's-
bad look? Yeah,
it's
but it is
yeah.
what it is.
it's the days of cancel culture and stuff where if they want to drag him through the mud and enough keeps coming up right now. I mean, I don't know.
But they choose so much to cancel people for. It's like what the kids. It's what's trendy these days.
Yeah.
Let's cancel them because of this. Let's cancel them over a wrong
yeah.
pronoun. Let's cancel them over this. It's what I mean. Here's the thing. Like they said, like both of these guys have said, it's Vince's business. It's what Vince did. Okay, so Vince had, and if I remember correctly, what I've heard, him and Linda McMahon have been separated now for a while,
Quite some time,
and
Yeah.
nobody's known about it.
That's
Now,
what he said earlier. He shared Linda's Tinder profile, which is out there.
Whoever made that is a
Jesus
genius.
Christ.
Is a genius.
Yeah,
So, it is what
Once
it is.
again, I don't think this is news. I think this is going to
No.
blow over. And you know when it's going to blow over? When Deshaun Watson gets suspended, and then we talk about that as opposed to Vince McMahon.
yeah,
It's
it's just
it's
me.
a
I'm
news
not a
cycle
fan of
story.
the news that's not of the profession itself. It's about the people behind it as much. And like, I get it. It's
Yeah.
two completely different stories. Like this one, who gives a fuck
Right.
about the other one? We all give a big fuck about it because it hits us in
Yeah.
the heart and it affects us. So
Right.
it's like night and day. 2 stories that
What happens with this has no personal
No.
adverse effects on me.
No, and it's like
And I
like
mean,
you said, we're all like,
If you get
doesn't
rid of Vince,
surprise
great.
me that he
Maybe
had an affair.
WWE will be better. But
wait, Vince McMahon had an affair? No way.
Hey,
I mean-
just to let you know, our president got a blowjob in the Oval Office.
No
today in his
way.
life.
He did not have sexual relations
I'm
with that
the
woman.
president. I want to get blowjobs too. Shit. Hey, people with power. People power. How about they got a
Yeah.
people power joke in there somehow. So let's talk about championships now. There's a report that the reason they gave him both belts is so he could be on both shows, and then he got taken off of both shows. So
yeah.
He
Has even
needed a
been on
break. He got
SmackDown?
burned. Didn't he
Yeah.
get burned?
I mean,
Wasn't
they
he burnt
said
out?
the reason that they booked him to win both titles is because the long-term plan was for him to be able to be on both shows consistently. And then his part-time thing comes up. That's the story. It's like, where's the gray area that went from he's going to be on both shows with both belts to now's the time for me to go Hollywood and take my time off and stuff. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
Think about
The
this.
gray
though.
the gray areas. He's Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I mean,
We
ahead,
we
Ian.
lost power in the belt when Brock Lesnar would defend it once every other pay-per-view. He would show up whenever the hell he wanted to. That's when the belt meant absolutely nothing. And now Roman looks at this the same way. He is Brock Lesnar right now. He's taking the Brock way.
Yeah.
And you can't blame him.
I don't at all.
no, it was just it came to light that that was the original plan, and it switched so fast that it's just like you were just saying, the titles don't mean as much as they used to. These
No.
don't as much either. So it's
They don't go to
everywhere right now.
when there was territories, and Doc,
It meant more.
you can talk about this because I know you're an old school NWA guy and all the South guys, aren't you? You know,
Yeah,
when
I've
the
been doing it.
belts,
When it was territories, when it was fun.
Territories, that's when the belts meant something because you went to that whole territory and you went against the best of that territory. Now it's a prop that somebody can put on TV and make it shiny and sell for $300.
Which you have what, about 30 of?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I've seen your room.
So
Here's
what both Doc and E said. Oh, I'm sorry.
But
the territory days, you had to go to that territory to see that champion. That's what made it mean so much more.
I mean, if you really want to get technical, I remember being 8, going into a store called GB's.
Yes!
And there was a versus pack, and it was Larry Zbyszko, and it said AWA champion. It said versus Ric Flair. It's the first Ric Flair figure I ever bought. It was the Remco AWA. They had the He-Man bodies.
Yep.
And it literally said the battle of 2 territories. And it had Flair and it had Zbyszko. And it was one of the coolest action figure sets I ever bought. Just to the fact I knew that I had an NWA figure that was in a different territory. And that's the thing. They, with these territories, that's why I love this Forbidden Door idea. Yeah, okay, it's New Japan, it's not WWE. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's still, you got 2 different entities fighting against each other, and now you got people spilling over into the shows and stuff. It's fun. This is what people love. And I think, like I said before, I really feel like with the belts, yes, they are nothing but a prop anymore, and it's sad. It's a sad thing. But the simple fact is that when you had world-class wrestling, you had Baron Von Raschke, who was AWA, come over and fight Kerry Von Erich. And everybody thought, oh, man, this is it. Von Raschke is this mean, nasty, the claw,
Yeah.
And what happened? Von Erich put him on his ass, and that put world-class over. AWA was already full throttle ahead. That's why they did that, so they can get that territory up and moving around. Everybody switched talent. Look at Rick Rude. Rick Rude went from AWA. He went to world class. Yep. Back, boom, bang, WWF at the time. That's what I'm trying to say is like these guys, they go to these different territories, and then, of course, they start buying up this territory. Yes, the cardboard ring Super Nacho was a fucking bitch. Trust me, I know.
So, do you guys think that the belt went from prestigious to a prop since Brock, or do you think it happened before that?
I think it happened well before then.
Yeah, well before that.
But I don't think it did, because think about it. When Hogan had the belt and we were younger, that belt was gold. That belt was the
Winged Eagle, baby.
Do you know why?
Yeah. Then you had Stone Cold running for a while. Then you had The Rock running it for a while. And you saw it on Saturday Night's Main Event. You saw it at
your version of when you were younger is different from my version of when I was younger.
But the thing was, they didn't let him.
Age, is what I'm saying.
They didn't let him lose that belt. That's the thing that made that belt so prestigious. Is Hogan had such a run. Hogan was the man to beat, and nobody could do it until when? Oh yeah, the Hebners.
Yep.
Not Andre Giant, the Hebners. When they pulled the double screw.
Yeah.
And then Hogan realized, wait a minute, I don't need this belt to keep going over. Let's get some of these other guys. And that's when you saw like Macho Man get it. Andre sell it to Ted DiBiase. And just the whole cycle back through to Hogan again, because Hogan kind of missed it, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of stories you could talk about when it comes to WWE and his ego. But it's just a simple fact is, with that territory, whenever Hogan came, that's when the territory started really dying. If you really want to get technical, like WWE didn't want him to share him. The only people the WWE shared was some of the mid-carders. Just think about Iron Sheik's story when Greg Gagne called him up and offered him how much money to break Hogan's leg, because he knew if Hogan skyrocketed, that was the end of it. That was the end of the territories. Vince had won. And as soon as that 3 count happened and Hogan turned the Campbell clutch, broke out. First person to break out of the Campbell clutch, by the way, at that point. When Hulkamania was born, that's when shit went south for all the other territories.
Do you guys believe that the AEW title means more than the WWE title right now?
Absolutely.
No. Yeah, I think it's been flipped too much.
No.
I don't think the AEW title. I think it's up there, but it's not because WWE has more prestige. I mean, no disrespect.
Right.
I'm
saying it importance in the company. I'm saying importance in the company. It's on TV every week.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart. The IC belt. The IC belt is that girl that forgot after prom.
Thank you for finally moving us on, Doc, because the next slide is your new Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about an angry 7-year-old? Oh, Christ.
Now, as much as I hate to see Ricochet not have the title after he got it, this guy's big time. I think whether he's Walter or Gunther, he's a star.
His mama call him Walter. I'm going to call him Walter.
And the one thing I forgot to mention is, tell me Paul Heyman isn't the king of facial expressions. He's the best.
It looks like he's losing a finger right now. That's all I'm going to say.
I love.
And Joe's kind of smirk. And Joe's kind of smirking there, like, you really going to put that where?
So here at the same time, wrong answer.
He added the pinky.
What is Ludwig reading? What is he doing with his hand there? He's either reading his next line, or if he's got a booger out of his nose, maybe, and he's looking at it. Wrong answers only. What's he doing?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
They're creating him into a pimp called Baby Powder, and what he's gonna do is go, oh yeah, come with it. And when they put the baby powder, he's gonna.
He's checking his palm.
And his name's gonna be Leroy Coltrane Williamson.
Oh, Jesus.
I think he's checking his Palm Pilot.
Well, what did the 5 fingers say to the face? His Palm Pilot.
Bitch.
Oh, geez. Maybe you're not as young as Palm Pilots are a thing of the past. So I think Gunther's going to be a good Intercontinental champ. And the thing was, now that there's no World Championship on, will they finally be talking more about the Intercontinental or the U.S. and stuff like that?
I think when they changed the belt, they stopped talking about it because that belt, in person, it looks great. On television, I think it looks like dog shit.
Yeah, it doesn't look that great on TV. I like the design, like you said, up close, but it doesn't look that great. Like the older Intercontinental titles are a lot better, in my opinion, too. So title belts, we got too many.
What color, Greg?
Not the white one.
Yeah, I love that white one, man.
So did I.
Elias is coming back. He will be back next week, is the announcement.
Oh, really?
So
I might have to actually
he announced
watch.
that Elias will be back. Now, we've talked about this before, and if they do pull this off, it would be great because that's Damian
Sweet
Sandow
Jesus,
on the
I
left.
hope.
Yeah.
So he's
going to be on TV. He's going to be on TV. He ain't going to be in the ring, and they're going to put fake beard on Ezekiel.
No, I think they may have some pre-taped stuff from before he shaved and cut his hair and everything.
They could do that.
Could be. Yeah,
they could do that too. Like when they did Start of the Angle, let's tape some stuff for whenever you are both people at once.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how they're going to play it out is basically
it's exciting.
But they also said that they're thinking about, I read an article that they're going to say Ezekiel has got amnesia, and that's why he's not Elias.
And I'm okay with that too.
Right. So that's a couple WWE tidbits. We got some AEW to talk about from last night.
Yeah.
If you guys saw, did you guys all see the show?
Yes.
Phenomenal.
I loved it. It was a really good show.
Yeah, I went in with low expectations. I normally don't. AEW, me and CJ were talking about this earlier. Like the AEW show has been a little hit or miss recently.
Hit and miss.
I agree. I'm going to be real about it. As much as I love, that's what I'm entertained by. This match was phenomenal. I think Will Ospreay is a star, and I wish he was, because he ends up, and I'll get to everybody here because the fight between those two is phenomenal. But now we're going to get him and Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door. So thoughts on the match, and then the fact that we're getting Ospreay.
Is it a singles or is it
singles?
Orange and the best? Is it okay?
It's singles.
Singles. Now, it's literally one-on-one.
Great match between the two, but I was hoping a little higher heights for Ospreay.
I think this could steal the show.
I agree. I don't know. I hope I'm not disappointed.
But the thing is,
we're missing Danielson. We're missing Punk. Is Omega coming back? So there's a lot of holes. Go ahead, Doc.
It's the thing is this: you have two great athletes because we know Orange can work outside his gimmick. And number two, it's going to add humor. You're going to have storytelling. You're going to have everything you want in a match with these two. Just the thing is, we have to really sit back and think. Can they make it work is the question. That's what everybody's going to see.
Yeah.
Can they pull this off? That is what the big
can.
question. I think they can too. I think it's going to be a phenomenal match.
He's already shaking his head no.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
I think that Ospreay is 10 times more of a name than Orange Cassidy.
Oh, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. But who do you put him with? Who does he fight instead?
Benefits Orange Cassidy. You know, and it sucks because this is the first time that a lot of people in the United States will actually know who Orange Cassidy is, or who Will Ospreay is.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what pisses me off because we may have seen Ospreay Danielson, we may have seen Ospreay Punk, you know, but to throw Orange Cassidy, is he there yet?
I think he is.
I think he is too.
Maybe they're looking for the match that gets him there. And I mean, like you guys say, this could be a show stealer.
I hate to say this because you know how much I hate him, but this is Darby Allin's spot.
Where are they gonna fit Darby? I'd like to see Darby versus Ospreay.
This is Darby Allin's spot to move him into the spotlight. You want that young athlete. Instead, you're going to move Orange Cassidy, a guy who puts his hands in his pockets, and that's not a wrestling. Like that.
Yeah, but he also does flips. He also does a lot of good work.
He's a great character. It is a great character.
We're not looking past the whole.
I think it's going to be a fantastic
I can't look past the gimmick. I'd love to look past the gimmick, but I can't. It's so bad of a gimmick for me. It's on the child side.
Everyone doesn't get Danhausen either.
But,
I mean, those are very, very niche characters.
Will you do us all a favor and at least give it a shot?
Oh, I have to because it's probably.
I mean, you don't have to, but
part of my thing about like Doc brought it up. It's been since 40 years ago. Company versus company is a big deal in wrestling. Now we're finally getting it. I want to be so excited for Forbidden Door, but I can't be as much as I was going to be because no Punk, no Danielson. We know Adam Cole's probably going to fight. We'll talk a little bit about that. But now we find out no Okada. Now hopefully that's just an angle and he's going to be there because he is the big name in New Japan. This little incident happened last night too, where we got the brawl with Jericho and company. He did come out and interrupt the little face-to-face, but it was...
What the fuck was Hager wearing?
It was... Yeah, I don't know. He's
Tommy Bahama's
some of the young Bucks clothes or something.
Tommy Bahama's clearance rack.
I didn't know. I didn't get at first that it was Fuego. I didn't look that close that it wasn't Fuego.
As soon as he started lifting a little bit, I saw those horse teeth. I was like, that's Sammy.
I like it.
It's good to put Sammy now that he's healed back with Jericho. I like that. I think that's
they can't break up the sex gods, especially now since he has a girl on his arm.
He's the trace sex gods now.
Yes, the trace.
Do you think it's to take some of the heat off of Sammy?
I don't think it will. I think it'll just add more heat.
The thing is, their angle with him and Ty is getting hate big time everywhere.
Right.
Can he carry a major angle by himself yet? I think is maybe where you're going with it. And I agree with you. I don't think he's ready for put it back with someone familiar to continue to get it over. Yeah, I think that could be what they're doing. Throw him back with Jericho, get him in this big mix. Now, there's a 6-man match now. It's a mix between New Japan. I didn't write it down. It's Jericho, Sammy, and is it Ishii maybe? And it's against 3 other guys, which are...
No, it's Jericho, Sammy, and someone I don't know.
From New Japan person. Yeah, it's a mix. It's not a New Japan versus. So that's what I mean. And they pointed that out too. This isn't strictly New Japan versus AEW. It's just a Forbidden Door. And the one thing I wanted to bring up was the fact that they're already discussing this could be an annual event. So, and that doesn't hurt it as much if the first one doesn't have all the firepower, because then next year, if Okada's still around, then you got Omega back, you got Danielson, you got Punk. So maybe they do build a brand, a Survivor Series type of thing where every year you're waiting for who is the Forbidden Door going to be against this year. I'm not against it because, like we just said, for 40 fucking years or more, the company versus company thing is what made it more interesting back in the territories. So I want it to be more important now, but a little steam has been taken off of the Forbidden Door.
I wonder if we can bet on this. I wonder if we can sports bet on this.
You probably could.
Surprised if you find
you probably could.
Yeah. So
and I wonder if AEW would be heavily favored. That's where I'm getting at.
I don't know. So that's what I mean. If it was a head-to-head thing, that brings a whole nother ball game too. But they're going to mix up a couple things. So we started out talking about Jeff Hardy. They were pulled from this match with the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express. And then the reports that I heard, some of you might not have heard something different, was originally it was the Hardys that were going to win this match.
Yep.
It switched to the
I'm
Bucks
sure it was.
before the Jeff Hardy thing happened. It was going to be the Bucks before he got arrested. They had already changed the plans to being the Bucks before Jeff got arrested.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's what I was hearing.
So with all this being said, do you think maybe, just maybe, because I mean, I hate to bring up the pay-per-view match with the boot and everything like that. I'm not saying he was, but I'm not saying he wasn't either.
I'm not convinced he was.
Here's the thing that killed me, and I tell you what, CJ, I went back and I watched that match, and here's where, as the therapist in me looked for, when Hardy comes out, he's electric. He's dum. If you watch that match, he had this face. He had to
I'd have to go back and watch it.
Watch it and just watch his demeanor when he walks out. He stumbles a little bit. He has that TNA. If y'all remember the TNA debacle, he has that
Sting, wasn't it?
Yes, it was him and Sting. He had that face, that shit-eating grin, like that. And I mean, that's the only part that I caught that in the pay-per-view, but I didn't say anything because I wanted to really verify it. Because sometimes you're excited. I was yelling at my kid, whatever. But what I'm trying to say is, when I saw that, I said, "Whoa, man, wait, just wait."
Who knows? I would just hope that they wouldn't put him out there if he was in that type of shape. But neither here nor there.
So the Bucks get the titles back. They're the first 2-time tag team champs. Now, my question is right now, because a lot of these storylines and stuff for Forbidden Door are starting to take shape. There's only a couple weeks. Who do the Bucks fight? I would like to see him fight Gorillas of Destiny.
Yep.
If you're going to put him against anybody in New Japan and do back and forth.
But the problem is they don't get along, right?
I don't know. See, I don't know all the ins and outs because I know
they don't get along because there's the whole we started the Elite or the Bullet Club. We started the Bullet Club. We made it Elite. We did this. There's a big rivalry in that, and I think it's pure hatred.
Yeah, so I don't know who they would end up going up against, but obviously they are now your tag champs for 2 times. And did you guys like the match? I mean, I thought it was a pretty damn good match.
I thought it was a great match. I mean, the spots they did with the ladders. And I mean, Luchasaurus took a fucking beating. God bless him. But he did. He took a lot of bumps. And I mean, it was a really good storytelling match because if you think about it, the Young Bucks, Jurassic Express, all through their first title reign, I mean, they battled. They always come up against each other. And unfortunately, to some people, the Young Bucks were victorious. I mean, look at his face.
It was super spotty, but that's what that's
what you expect. I mean, and it showed you.
It was fun.
To me, it was a shotgun start, too. It was like right off the bat. Big spot. And there was one part where it was like people were getting thrown through tables like every 10 or 15 seconds.
Yeah.
It was like table spot, which is normally it doesn't come off that well. I thought it came off really well. I mean, expecting the 3-way and getting that, I'll take it. It was pretty good.
Absolutely.
And then after the match, we got a little more story.
Yeah.
And what we've been waiting for was the turn of Christian on Jungle Boy. After the show thing, did you guys see what happened after the show when he went over to Jungle Boy's family?
Out on a
no, he went over to his family. He went, "You made a piece of shit." He said, "He said your kid's a piece of shit."
Yeah, he did.
Fuck with their family. Yeah. So Christian going full out with this little heel thing, and
not surprised, but I dig it.
Does it kill Jurassic Express though? Do we get Jungle Boy in a singles action now?
You're gonna have to because I think
they both do singles.
Yeah, I would. I mean, we'll talk about him a little later too, as well.
I think this is to propel Jungle Boy too into that singles competition. This right here, I mean, Christian is a huge step, and I think that Christian will be. I think Christian will propel Jungle Boy into that title status, like the singles title status, just for now. I mean, him and Luchasaurus, they're going to remain. That's marketing. That's marketing disaster. You break those two up. Yeah. I mean, everybody loves the goddamn dinosaur, to quote Cody Rhodes. So keep the goddamn dinosaur around.
And I think
let his little buddy get, where he needs to be.
I think if you guys remember, it was a few months back, Luchasaurus was starting to pick up some steam.
Yes, he was.
I think you give him some more steam as a singles as well. Yep. But ultimately still keep them together, but have them do a little singles action.
CJ, you know where some of his greatest showings were, if you really want to get technical, if you look at the Battle Royals from the Double or Nothing,
Jungle Boy?
Both of them.
Oh,
Luchasaurus.
yeah, for sure.
Hell, Luchasaurus with his kicks and everything. Oh, my God.
He's
amazing.
Very athletic for his size. Do I think he needs to do all that shit? No, but it gets over.
Yes, it does. People love it.
Someone made the joke that Christian saw what Edge's boys did to him on the other show the other night. He's like, that shit ain't happening to me. And he busted out the chairs on him.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was good. I like that angle finally coming through. And so it was a stacked show. I mean, the one thing I didn't really, and here's how I would change it. I didn't really like the Wardlow thing versus the 20 guys. I like the idea. I love Wardlow. We talk about him all the time. Here's how I would have changed it. Make it 10 guys, put him on the apron, have them come in one at a time, and he beat the fucking piss out of him. Yeah. That's still very dominant to destroy 10 people. Because when you pin 5 guys, there's only one guy's fucking shoulders down on the mat. We're not stupid. Right. Yeah, when he pushed off 5 people off the apron, and the announcer's like, oh, competitors number 4, 5, and 6 are now out. We're like, what?
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
So I think you're missing one of the big parts, in my opinion, of the entire show.
The hair
is Jay White. Who's going to face Jay White? And I'm saying Kenny Omega.
Yeah, that's the big question now. Will it be? I mean, that I've heard. There's Cole, there's Hangman, there's no Okada. We found out today, and Jay White's like, I'm not even fighting you, Adam Cole. So yeah, the big question on who he's going to fight. I want it to be Omega. I want Omega to come back. I really do.
What do you think, E?
I think that the only match that you can book is Adam Cole, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think you're going to see them both at a tag team match, which sucks because because you get the announcement that the Mexican wrestlers aren't going to Forbidden Door.
Yeah, they're not allowed because they work for AAA.
Right. Yeah. So what are you going to do? Like, you got to get other guys on this card, and the only way to do it is tag teams. So, maybe you tag up Jay White and Adam Cole against somebody. Maybe, the Forbidden Door, you said, is not AEW versus New Japan. So
yeah, they're going to mix it up, apparently. So, who knows? I mean, and plus, they don't have women. So, I mean, they're not mixing Stardom in or nothing. It's only New Japan. So, we got to have one or two. And they have one, I think, signed already, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
Thunder Rosa versus Tony, because Tony beat Britt. And that was pretty much without them saying it, a number 1 contender match. So it is going to be, they made the announcement it's Tony versus Thunder. We have Thunder versus Storm. The mid-international and international Pacific Atlantic Championship tournament match, Miro and Ethan Page was a pretty good match as well. And I would have bet money that Jericho was cutting his hair. I thought Jericho was cutting his hair, so they got me.
I did too.
Because of the bald spot and all, I thought maybe he'll just go. Yeah. He can run with anything. But to see, I think it was better than Regal saying blood and guts the other night. But Ortiz shaving his own hair as he cut himself, going blood and guts, was pretty fucking hardcore. Yeah. So it made me a little bit want to see the blood and guts a little more. I hope they can pull it. I'm a big War Games mark, so I hope they can. So, pretty interesting show. We have 2 more segments to get through. We will get to everyone out there. Make sure you tell us who you think your modern day NWO is. So that's a 3-person team. So what 3 people would shock to be in a different company and make some waves? And then obviously the 4 horsemen, who would be your modern day 4 horsemen? Ray gave us his before he left the show last week. So I went a little bit of different direction, and we'll talk about that too. But first, we're going to start a 6-week trend of honoring one of the legends in professional wrestling. Stay tuned for our 2 cents. So whether you agree with it or not, whether you give a shit or not, whether you think it's a bad idea, Ric Flair is having his final match at the end of July. And as we ramp up, we're going to honor him in a different way. I mean, I don't think he should be fighting. Most people don't think he should be fighting. But let's face it, he is a legend. He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, in a lot of people's minds in the history of wrestling. So we're going to talk about the 6 senses. And the first 6 sense is going to be the stables that he was in. So let's talk a little bit about Ric Flair and some of the stables he was in. Now, there's 7, actually, so this is honorable mention. He was part of the Heenan family. And I do have a list at the end we can say. So in 84 to 82, the Heenan family So he was a part of that. That's honorable mention. But we have 6.
Man,
stables.
that's perfect.
Right?
We'll see him again too. So this one was the Alliance to End Hulkamania. Do you guys remember this? I don't.
Oh, wow.
Is
Yes.
that Zeus? Is that Zeus?
Yes,
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 it's
it is. That's Bebo.
WCW
Zeus.
1996.
That's Miss Elizabeth, isn't it? Miss Elizabeth.
No, that's
No,
woman,
that's
buddy.
Nancy. That's
That's
Okay.
woman.
Yeah, that's woman. So who's the big guy on the left?
Is that
Vader?
Warlord?
Yeah, I don't
No,
know. That's a
Warlord
big-
was not that. He didn't have a gut like that. I
I
think
think
it's
he'll be on the list.
I
We
don't
got the
know who
list
that
at the
was.
very end. So
Okay.
that is the Alliance to End Hulkamania. That's coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is the Magnificent 7. I don't really remember them as much.
Oh,
but,
wow, yes.
but give me a
I
little
don't
Road
remember
Warrior
that
anything, and I'm cool. So it's Jarrett,
Yeah.
Steiner, Buff, Luger,
Luger.
and
Oh,
So this was WCW 2001.
do you ever notice that when Lex Luger would get hit, he'd be like, "Oh, oh!" Like, you know, it's just,
Never paid attention.
There they are. I
Never-
guess both Steiners are in there. The Magnificent
Okay.
7. All right, so now
Huh.
2003, 2004, Evolution,
That's Mrs. number 4?
number 4.
Huh. I
They're not
don't know.
ranked. It's not a top
Right.
6. It's just 6.
Okay,
altogether.
okay. I was going to
It's not
say,
a
if
top
it was
6.
ranked, I might have put that a little bit higher.
No, I don't think it was ranked. I think these are just what.
Yeah,
the-
Yeah,
right.
these are the
right.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This would probably be right behind the obvious one, the one they had.
Right.
So there they are with all the belts, and that's kind of trendy now. Whenever a stable has all the belts, you could take it back to the original. So there's Fortune.
Yes, Fortune. That's where the legendary Jay Lethal promo was made with.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
Which
Fortune.
we will do 6. We'll do a 6 cents for Flair with 6 promos before we get to that. And then there is Fortune.
Oh yes, Fortune.
Oh, God.
So there was 2 different Fortune groups in TNA, 2010, 2011. Fortune and Fortune. And Flair was hanging in there with young AJ. Holy shit.
Yeah, right?
Immortal.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, I know.
2010, 2012, the Immortal group was pretty much everybody that was a name. And then a couple young guys.
Okay.
So another stable. I can't really say headline. I mean, it's Hogan and Flair
Yeah.
in the stable together. Pretty interesting.
And
It was
Hardy
young
and
AJ.
Abyss and Beer Money and AJ. And I mean, it was loaded.
Yeah.
Immortal. That's when they're like throw all the eggs in a basket. So there's 9 total. There was the Millionaires Club in WCW 2000 and the Yamasaki Corporation in 1989. I don't know if they went to New Japan and he had a crew or something. It'll be on the list. But there was 9 different versions of the Horsemen. over the years. There's one.
I go back to the Ole Arn.
This is the original
Kelly.
one. Right
I mean, that's the best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the pretty much to me what I think of. There's one more that I think of because it was for a longer time was with Wyndham.
Mongo. What
Wyndham.
about with
I think-
Mongo? Mongo
We'll get
had
there.
a big run.
So we had then Wyndham came in. So you got
Yeah.
Wyndham,
Mhm.
and there they are
Yeah.
once again, all the belts. So I think I was like the Western. Wyndham had like some Western belt, Western Texas Western States Championship or something.
Texarkana.
Then you got Luger coming in, same 3 still with now with Luger. Those are the days. Those little
Oh God, yeah.
interviews there and stuff when I used to do it. Then you got Sid and Barry.
Okay.
I think that's my least favorite.
How about this
Yeah.
one's how about
No,
this one's
that's
not the
my
least
least
favorite?
Oh
Paul
God,
Rose.
no.
I like
This is least favorite.
I like how they yes, the NWO Western States Heritage title. That's what it was. Thank you, Nacho.
Wow.
Yes, Big Daddy Beard, thank you for promoting it. This Sunday we got a double header. I'm gonna do the Legion of Dork. We're doing gross toys from the 80s. We're doing one-hit wonders and music from the 80s. We're doing 90s cartoons. And then after that, Big Daddy Beard Gaming Promotions is doing his Battle of Beats. He brings on artists to showcase their music that they have made from scratch, and people vote on it. It's very cool. So definitely check us out this Sunday. Good to see you, BDB. That's right. We out, yeah? Yeah, the Paul Roma one. My goodness. I had to slide that in. I like how they put his name on it, just so in case you didn't know which one was fucking Paul Roma.
He's the Saturday guy.
There's some Mongo.
Yeah, I'm good with this.
Yep.
With this
Mongo and Benoit.
iteration. Yeah.
And then you have. So this ties into our last one too, where Malenko's in there instead.
The man of 1,000 positions, as Blair referred to him once, and he actually got really embarrassed during the interview and went, "Oh, come on, Rick." He couldn't even look at the camera, like he wasn't expecting it.
Where's Double J at? I mean, Double J swears that he was a 4 horseman.
This one you have Pillman and Benoit.
Yeah.
The loose cannon himself.
Yeah.
I think there's this one I didn't. This one with Hennig. I had to find a picture because he was in there for towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
So Hennig, Benoit. It's like all the old ones started going away, and it was just Flair. And then I think this could be the last one. Yeah, this is the final iteration before technically the end. And here's the list, I believe. Let's see if we can even read it. I got to have one bad slide.
I can't read that.
No,
I can't read it. No, absolutely not.
No.
That was the Barbarian, by the way. The picture.
Okay.
It was either him or Ming. The Ming and then Ming.
It wasn't Meng.
Ming, the Barbarian, the Gangster, the Ultimate Solution.
So the Yamasaki Corporation was Hiro Matsuda, Barry Windham, Butch Reed, Kenda Windham, Michael Hayes, and Ric Flair. And it was NWA WCW in 1989.
Okay.
And the Alliance to End Hulkamania, Kevin Sullivan, Ric Flair, Jimmy Hart, Lex Luger, Arn Anderson, Brian Pillman, Meng, the Barbarian, Miss Elizabeth, Woman, Z Gangsta. That must be Zeus, right? No?
Yeah.
And then the Ultimate Solution, whoever that is.
That's who that big guy with the big gut was, probably.
So the other ones, 4 Horsemen in 96, Deborah was in it, and Miss Elizabeth, and Woman. So there was 3 during that period. I don't have a picture of that one. And then, the Magnificent 7 was Bagwell, Jared, Luger, Flair, Steiner, Road Warrior, and Scott. There wasn't a Horseman with Jeff Jarrett. Nope, he was in a couple other ones with him, though. All right. So we have one more little item to cover. Where did everybody go?
We're here.
What do you mean? We're here.
We're here.
I lost my StreamYards.
We're here.
We're here. We're here.
Mine just went down for a second. There it is. All right, I'm back.
All right.
Back. We lost E.
That's fine.
So we got one more segment to go, folks. Stay tuned. Forgot we actually have 2 seconds, so I'll do it at the end of the day. But speaking at the end of the day, I used to do this on my other show and look up, like, I don't know what I liked on Facebook or something, which was like on this day in 1984, this movie was released or something. But on this day, and oddly enough, on this day, 24 years ago today, Edge made his WWE debut.
Oh, no shit.
24 years ago today, so make us feel a little bit older. How about it? So the final segment was brought up last week just to pick our own modern day NWO or 4 Horsemen. So we'll go right into the 4 Horsemen. And you guys in the live chat, let us know who your NWO would be here. Geez, you got a whole crew of them, didn't you? You got Randy, Drew, Cena. Randy, Drew, and Cena would be your NWO. 4 Horsemen would be Kevin O, Sammy, Austin, and Miz. So when do you guys remember what Ray even said? I know he said FTR and somebody. He said FDR and somebody, and I was like, if I would make a Horseman from AEW, everyone would think it would be an FDR. So I went a different way, and I want Flair as their manager, but I'm going to bring Hook, Jungle Boy, Sammy Guevara, and Ricky Starks as my 4 Horsemen. So I'm going to get all the young guns, put them in suits. It'd be weird to see Jungle Boy in a suit finally and Hook, but I think those 4 guys should be able to play both the angles that you do when you're a Horseman, the old businessman, and then the brawler, bruiser, whatever, enforcer. So some pillars. Now for my NWO one, I was going to do Like, what would be more shocking? Roman and the Usos going to AEW or Omega and the Bucks going to WWE? Those would be like comparable to what an NWO would be. But I went with it's already in place. Cody is in WWE. So when he comes back, some way, somehow, and this is the only reason this cannot happen is because with social media today, if these two guys got released or their contracts were up, we'd know about it. So it would be ruined. So the whole shock factor of Hogan, Paul, and Nash, that can't happen like it used to. Right. But I would have Cody be joined by MJF and Wardlow.
I like it.
So that would be, if you're going to shock, I was trying for the most shocking thing I could think of. So if I want to dream, I would have, because he's familiar with both. MJF and Wardlow are familiar with each other. And that could be like a Cody heel turn as he brings those two over, and they'd be the biggest heels in WWE. And it'll be more like a youth thing with the young guys trying to come up in the Four Horsemen thing. So I know you guys said you didn't have one. Do you have any idea of one?
I have. Go ahead, Joe.
I have an NWO.
I have both. So
okay.
Go ahead. You got your both. Go ahead.
I'll just do the Horsemen real quick. FTR is definitely in it. They just personify Horsemen, just physiques, just everything about them. I say Andrade, just for the simple fact that he has kind of married into that family. You have Charlotte and Tessa as arm candy, plus you have two blood actual relatives of Flair and Tully Blanchard in there running stuff. And last but not least, and I'm kind of happy he's out of here for a couple minutes, I'm going to have to say Robert Roode. And the reason I say Robert Roode is this reason, Bobby Roode. I'll say Bobby because, man, if you watched Bobby Roode back in the days of the NXT when he had the belt, he had the suits, he had everything. He has that swagger that
he's a horseman.
It's very Horseman-esque. So I'm done.
Definitely.
All right, that's all
you help me with my Horseman.
And I like how you tied into family too with the Horseman. So tradition back in there, of course.
A little bit of writing there. I'm doing writing for someone, so I'm actually been working on my writing skills a little bit. So
I love it.
All right, here's my NWO.
Okay.
Austin Theory, The Miz, and MJF.
Oh wow! All three pricks. That's beautiful.
So the prick society. Well, where is it? Is it in WWE or is it in AEW?
It's got to be in AEW.
So those two would
three are already
Miz and Austin Theory would come over to team with MJF. That would be wild. MJF brought those two in. So do you have a Horseman?
I do. Like everybody else, probably FTR, and I do like the Bobby Roode. So FTR, Bobby Roode, and fuck it, Dolph Ziggler.
I almost had Ziggler in, but that's why I kind of switched him out with Andrade. Because,
I really didn't think this one through at all during the week, but
that's really good. I like that.
FTR, Ziggler, and Roode.
Ziggler looks great in a suit. Ziggler could pull it off. Ziggler could pull off anything he wants to do, actually. So.
And all of them can work their asses off too.
Yeah,
perfect. NWO though, oh man, NWO. I have a bombshell to drop on everybody. So the NWO, and I'm gonna, you're see what's a weird collaboration, but just check it out. Sami Callihan, Jon Moxley, Darby Allin, Killer Cross, CM Punk, EC3, Adam Shearer, aka Braun Strowman, and Steve Austin as their like JJ Dillon man, or kind of like the reason being is this. Those basically, all those guys have either been released, unwanted at times, hard to work with. So you put all them together and they run rampant. Not only in AEW, they run rampant through every territory they go through, and they just take over. You have 1 week of televised television, and you just take the NWO and let it go through everything. Like Impact, you have even control your narrative, which is even EC3's own thing. Let them just run through everything like Ron Jeremy would a virgin. I'm telling you.
God.
I am telling you guys, this could sell some.
I like it. Plus, it's kind of an outsider angle because, like you said, you gave story behind all why they're all outsiders. They've all
especially Callahan. I think Callahan would sell it the most because
Callahan.
Could you see Steve Austin like sitting there going,
like,
"Damn boy, I know what you went through."
Those are all like lethal type hardcore brawlers. So you like brought an ECW feel into the and
I also added technical wrestling with CM Punk involved, you know, and of course Darby with the high flyer, and then you have the Ogre, which is Strowman. You know, just a whole happy evil family that's going to destruct everything.
Nice.
So there you have it. That is our final segment, and then we'll let's at the end of the day. Why not? All right, at the end of the day, I'll start it off. And we started off, you know, kind of a roller coaster of emotions in this episode here. A little different. We got serious in the beginning, and rightfully so. But and that's kind of how I've run this channel for the longest time. Is I want to get a positive message out there to people. I want to affect people in a positive way and give them some entertainment for a while. Forget about whatever's going on in your real life for a while. If life sucks or things are shitty wherever you're at, you know, you never know what someone's going through or what they're going through right now or what they've gone through in their life. So, you know, I always say, considerate, be considerate. So consider being considerate is kind of the way I like to spin it. And I say it all the time on my shows. If I'm not doing something positive, like you people showing up in the chat are wonderful. If I haven't sparked some kind of positivity in you over the 5 years I've been here, over the 30 shows that we've done, I don't want to be doing this. There's too many people that come here just to rant, just to cause trouble or drama or be weird or wild, or I just want to be ourselves and entertain you guys. And I appreciate everybody in this live chat that's been along with this ride. 30 going on 300. I hope we can do this for as long as humanly possible, just to shoot the shit about wrestling.
Yeah,
that's my soapbox. And I mean, I'm kind of glad that it was big enough news we had to talk about the Jeff Hardy stuff because
and it is.
When I started this channel out, it was nothing but me doing commentating, and I put my head down. It was tunnel vision. I enjoyed it. You guys loved it, but I never opened up to really like try to affect people. And I realized that it's such a following now that we have power in our words. And like even Eazy-E said earlier, you know, reach out to someone if you're in any type of issue or problem. That's the biggest thing, is just reaching out. Sometimes it only takes you might make their day by letting someone help you.
Their life.
Yeah, so you know, having someone help you can be just as rewarding as finally realizing you need help.
Yeah.
So and all three of us we touched on it at the beginning, and I didn't want to get too emotional into it, but it's good to show that side that we are human, and these people, these figures that we worship and watch it religiously every week, they're human beings too.
Yeah, and they have lives outside of wrestling.
And they brought you entertainment how many times? And you know they've made mistakes, but they brought you entertainment. They've brought you nothing but memories for how many more times? That outweighs the bad. So.
And does it mean that Jeff Hardy is a bad person? Absolutely
not at all.
Not.
No,
absolutely not. Has he made some bad choices? Absolutely. Yes. And I think he's in a spot that he would say that, I've made bad choices, but he can come back from it. So
at this point, I want the end of the story to be a positive one, not a Jeff Hardy died in a car wreck. Is Jeff Hardy made a comeback, and he did end up getting that run with Matt a year from now or 2 years from now before they retire.
And I think
that's where the big shame is. They were just about to make like their final run of their career, and now will it ever happen is now the question.
But it wasn't their time to do that.
No, it wasn't meant to
be.
Their
time to do that is still ahead of us.
Everything
that's positive outlooking from the side. Yes.
All right. From the end of the day, from the side, you know, at the end of the day, it's like this. Once you fall down, you do is you get up. You dust yourself off, you look life right in the face, and you say you hit like a bitch.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it
I'm
there.
Done.
Thank you, Doc. Peace and positive vibes. Everyone will see you next week.
Oh, I don't get an end of the day?
I thought you already had your end of the day.
No,
I had to have my "what am I, a piece of shit" moment. Go ahead.
No, at the end of the day.
Actually, both of you guys, before I forget, is there anything in the indie scene that we need to know about soon? Because you guys
IWC coming up this Saturday. It's going to be a big show. Bill Collier and Bob Nasty for the IWC Heavyweight Championship.
Two gargantuans, two great competitors.
Good match. I think it's going to be the shoe stealer. So, go ahead, Doc.
Got RWA coming up. Probably not this much. Hell,
July 9th, I think.
Yeah, July 9th is going to be a street fight between J-Rock and Chris Taylor, who I hope to have both on here. I would love to see those guys air out their differences in front of the great WrestleSense crowd. 2PW is working on a show in August, so lots of stuff's in the works. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you only fail if you don't keep trying.
From the side, bitches.
Yep.